Hi, Den from F.S.T.A.L.E Academy here. Thanks for coming by today. I want to talk to you today about this camera, the Canon 5D Mark II. Now, we were promised a firmware update last October, I believe, and it's now March and we finally got it. I'm talking about the firmware update that brings us 24p, 25p, and instead of that 30p, 29.97. So let's talk about the frame rates for a start. If you live in Europe like I do, then it's fantastic news because 25p is the frame rate that we shoot here in Europe. This means we can cut it in with our EX1s and any other cameras that shoot 25p. 24p, or to be accurate, 23.98, is going to give us that lovely cinematic look with our frame rate that matches that of film. And finally, instead of true 30p, we've got 29.97. Now, why is this important? Well, when we shot the Canon 7D training DVD tutorial with Philip Bloom back in September, we used the 5D Mark II as our main camera and an EX1 as our second camera, both shooting at 30p. But in fact, it wasn't 30p. 30p true is what the 5D was shooting, 29.97 was what the EX1 was shooting, which meant we had a problem in post-production syncing up the audio. So it was a lot of extra work. So now that that's been changed, we're back in the race. 29.97 gives us true 30p, as it's known in the US. New improved audio. We have now got an upgrade in the bit rate of the audio from 44.1 kilohertz to 48 kilohertz, which again brings it into line with other broadcast camcorders. So that's a great improvement. But most significantly of all, it's the improvement in the way the audio is recorded. Instead of auto gain control, which is when the audio ramps up and down and sets its own level, there's now an option to manually set the audio. What that means is there are 64 different increments that we can preset the audio for. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a second. But finally, histogram support has been brought out for live view mode in movie mode, which means there's some guidance there for setting exposure. Again, it's a little bit crude, but it's an improvement. And of course, Canon never made this camera to be a movie camera. Us movie makers have just jumped on the back of it and turned it into a phenomenon. Finally, and this is probably the least favourite of my upgrades, and perhaps you'll use it, perhaps you won't. Aperture priority and shutter priority modes are now enabled when you're exposing in video mode. Now, here at F.S.T.A.L.E Academy, we're all about teaching you how to do things what we regard the proper way. That is manually. We want to teach you how to do things manually so you have complete control. But I want to just do now is take you outside and give you a quick example of how the audio improvements will affect what you shoot. In this first example, listen out for the audio as Emma speaks. Have a listen to the traffic noise and to Emma's voice as she speaks, and then when she finishes speaking, listen to how the traffic noise increases again.
Do you love new firmware? I know I do.
Now let's do the same shot with the camera with the firmware, and we're going to set an audio level with Emma speaking, and now listen to the difference between Emma when she doesn't speak and when she speaks.
Do you love a piece of firmware? I know I do. Guys, that sound really rude.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
No, I don't want to sound stupid.
No, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So that's it. It's a very brief update. Thanks for stopping by. We've got some new titles out. A guy called Drew Gardner, brilliant UK-based advertising and commercial photographer, has produced a 2-hour DVD called Stills in Motion. If you're a photographer who is new to video, then you want to check this video out. So have a look on our website, learnDSLRvideostore.com, and check out the demos there. And we hope to catch up with you again very, very soon. Thanks for dropping by.